Hi guys, and welcome to prediction week 3, and we start with tonight's kick-off at 8 o'clock, Aston Villa versus Everton. I think this could be quite a tough game. I think Villa's been quite impressive the last couple of weeks, but just been very unlucky with the results. Same with Everton. But I think Everton won last week. But the week before, I think they played Watford, and it was a tight draw. No, it was Crystal Palace they played on the first game of the season, and I think it was a draw in the end. I'm gonna go for a tight, tough game in this one, but I'm gonna give the win to Everton. I think they're going to be too strong for Aston Villa, so I'm going to get Aston Villa 1, Everton 2. At 12:30 tomorrow, we have Norwich versus Chelsea. Really not being impressed with Chelsea at the moment. Yes, they saw a lot of the ball against Leicester last week, but again didn't win. Let a sloppy goal in, free header if you like. And obviously when they went 1-0 down, 2-0 down to Manchester United the week before, they just absolutely fell to pieces. And I've actually been quite impressed with Norwich. The last two games, I know they got hammered to Liverpool, but there were still signs in that game, that looked like they were going to be a threatening side, and they actually won last week. And I'm going to give a win to Norwich this weekend as well. I'm going to give Norwich 2, Chelsea 1. On to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. We have Brighton versus Southampton. Again, this could be a tight, tough game. So for this one, I'm going to go Brighton 1, Southampton 1. Then we have Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Again, in the first half against Wolves, I thought Manchester United absolutely dominated the game. They were getting the ball up to Martial, and every sort of time, they were getting it forward. Do you think they were going to score? And Wolves just weren't at it. But in the second half, it was a completely different animal. Wolves were a completely different animal. Manchester United were a completely different animal. In the second half, it was like watching Manchester United last year with Jose Mourinho. They're just really, really, really poor. I don't know what happened at half-time, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said to them, but they were really, really poor in the second half. I do think, because it's at Old Trafford, I do think that they will beat Crystal Palace, but again, I think they'll make life hard for themselves, and I think they'll have to dig themselves out of a deep hole. I'm going to go Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. But don't be surprised if there is an upset there at Old Trafford on Saturday. We then have Watford versus West Ham, a bit of a derby. Again, West Ham showing glimpses of good signs, but they're not really getting results. I think they got a draw last week. But yeah, not really looking too impressive at the moment. I'm going to go Watford 2, West Ham 1. Then we have Sheffield United versus Leicester. Again, this could be quite a tough game. Sheffield United's done well. Leicester's done well as well, getting the result at Chelsea last week. So I'm going to go for a tough game. I'm going to go Sheffield United 1, Leicester 1. At 5:30, we have Liverpool versus Arsenal. Again, there were glimpses in the game last week where I thought Burnley were absolutely ripping us apart. We're making life hard for ourselves. Same with Liverpool. They didn't beat Southampton comfortably last week, which I think if I watch my video back, I think I put them down to win 2-1 last week, and I said it'd be hard. So at this moment in time, it is the top two going into the weekend. I don't think Arsenal will win. I think we will lose, but I'll say this as an Arsenal fan: if we can get out of there, and we haven't been slapped, 6-0, 5-1, something like that. We've put a massive shift in, and we've blocked, and we've done this, we've done that. We put our bodies on the line, but they were just too strong for us on the day, and they were the better team. And they come out like saying winning 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever. I'm not going to say I'd be happy. I'm never happy to lose, but I would see that the mentality at Arsenal is changing. That we're not going to keep going to these top teams and getting slapped up every single time. So for the game, I'm praying to God. Well, not praying to God that we actually lose, but I'm praying to God that we don't get slapped. But my heart's telling me that we can get a result, but my head is telling me I think Liverpool will win it. So I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Arsenal 1. At 2 o'clock on Sunday, we have Bournemouth versus Manchester City. And Manchester City, for a third time, going to get done by VAR. Who knows? I still think, even with VAR, I still think that they'll be too strong for Bournemouth. So I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 3. At 4:30, we have Tottenham versus Newcastle. Again, Tottenham weren't really at it last week. Very slow, very sluggish, very lazy. But again, it's at home. I think a comfortable win for Tottenham. I'm going to go Tottenham 3, Newcastle 1. And the other 4:30 game on Sunday is Wolves versus Burnley. Again, in the second half, Wolves did really, really, really well against Manchester United. Maybe unlucky not to even walk out with 3 points. Burnley, in the first half at least, they could have had an argument that they could have took at least a point out of the game. But in the second half, I think Arsenal came to life. But there were signs in that game that Burnley are going to be a threat this season as well. So let's go for a lively game. Let's go Wolves 2, Burnley 2. So that has been my predictions for this weekend, guys, and I will see you next week for next week's predictions. Thank you for watching, guys.